Okay, let's talk about online privacy. What if I told you we've been going about it all wrong? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical new idea, one that goes beyond just playing defense and moves into something called digital sovereignty. Imagine building your own personal fortress, but for your data.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Who is selling your identity right now? And yeah, it's a blunt question, but we really have to ask it. Because the truth is, right this very second, there's a massive industry out there making a ton of money off of the most personal thing you own, your identity. And you probably don't even know it's happening.
And the scale of this, it's just staggering. The research we're looking at here points to at least 427 of these data brokers, and they are actively profiling you. We're talking about lists of your health info, what you buy, where you go. They even gather info on your kids. And here's the absolute kicker. None of this requires your permission. Zero. You never signed up for it, you never clicked agree, and yet your life is being bundled up and sold off to whoever's willing to pay. That is the core problem we're going to unpack today.
So all of this trading, it happens in what's called the invisible marketplace. Think of it like this huge unregulated stock market, but the only thing being traded is your personal information. It's time to pull back the curtain and see who's actually running this show.
You've probably seen some of these names before, right? Axiom, Experian, ZoomInfo. I mean, these aren't some shady fly-by-night operations. Nope, these are major corporations, and their entire business model, it's built on one thing, knowing everything they possibly can about you, and then selling that knowledge. Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, all right, I'll just sign up for one of those privacy services to get my data deleted. Makes sense. But what if that's just walking into a different kind of trap? The whole argument we're exploring here is that a lot of those services, they might actually be part of the problem.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. On one hand, you have the old way, the conventional cloud services. You pay a company, you give them your data, and they become this new middleman that you just have to trust. You're trusting their security, you're trusting them not to peek. But the sovereign home model, completely different game. Everything, and I mean everything, runs on your hardware, in your house. It's all local. That means no third party ever sees your data, ever.
So this isn't just a tech thing, it's a huge philosophical shift. You know, we're moving away from begging corporations to please respect our privacy and moving towards building our own little fortresses for data sovereignty. It's literally about bringing your data back home.
And I just love this quote. It nails the whole concept perfectly. The only cloud is the one in your house, right? So forget about trusting some giant, faceless, centralized server farm somewhere. The only data center that should matter to you is the one you can physically touch, the one you actually own and control.
Now, you might be thinking this sounds super complex and expensive, but it's really not. We're talking about running this whole system on an old laptop you've got gathering dust in a closet, or even a tiny little $50 computer like a Raspberry Pi. The whole point is to make it accessible to everyone, not to create some high-tech barrier.
Okay, so how does this actually work? What's the engine driving all of this? Well, it's a personal AI agent. Think of it like your own digital guardian, working for you around the clock 24/7. And it has 7 very specific, very critical jobs to do. And this agent wears a lot of hats. First, it's the watcher, constantly monitoring over 400 of those brokers. Then, it's the enforcer, automatically firing off legal deletion requests. It's also the gatekeeper, creating virtual identities so you don't expose your real one. It's the advocate, filing official complaints with regulators, like the FTC, when companies don't comply. It's the historian, keeping a perfect, unchangeable record of everything for evidence. It's even a negotiator, automating settlement demands when your rights are violated. And finally, it's the educator, sharing what it learns with the entire network to make everyone stronger. It's a whole team in one.
And this right here is the real game changer. See, this isn't just about hiding your data or playing defense. It's the first approach that combines both. You get the defense, things like protecting your identity, but you also get a really aggressive offense, actually using the law to fight back and make it expensive for these brokers to mess with you.
And you gotta understand, this isn't a one-and-done kind of deal. It's a continuous loop of resistance. First, your agent maps out exactly where your data is. Then, it executes the deletion requests, sending them out right from your hardware. And the best part? If a broker ignores the request or refuses, the agent just automatically escalates the fight. It goes after their data protection officers, it goes to the regulators, and it does it relentlessly, 24/7, without ever getting tired.
All right,
Let's zoom out for a second, because this one little agent builds into a much, much bigger idea. We're moving beyond just personal privacy here. This is about a whole new economic way of thinking. They're calling it the resistance economy.
So what is that? Well, the basic idea is this. We live in an age where these huge platforms and even our employers are just constantly extracting value from us, from our data, from our work. In that world, taking back control of your own data, well, it stops being just about privacy. It becomes the absolute foundation for your own economic survival.
And this final analogy just ties it all together beautifully. Think of those giant, slow-moving data corporations as the dinosaurs. And you, empowered with your own small, fast, warm-blooded AI agent running in your house, you're the mammal. You can adapt, you can move quickly, and you can thrive in the exact same environment that's hostile to those lumbering giants.
Which really leaves us with a huge question to think about, doesn't it? We've gone from basically asking companies for permission to be private to building our own tools to seize our own sovereignty. So is this it? Is this model, this combination of a personal AI and automated legal action, the key to not just surviving online, but actually thriving in the digital world of tomorrow?